Hi, I'm Chad Lowe. You might remember me from such films as How a Drive Shaft is Built or How a Record Body is Built. Today on this unconventional machine shop, we're getting into this chipper drum. We got a spot on this chipper drum that is chewed really bad right here. Typically, we take something like that, stick it in a big lathe after we've welded it, and turn it down. I can't do that. That won't fit in my lathe. I was thinking of buying another lathe, but just to do it specifically for this job, maybe down the road. My plan right now is to do some machinist magic, and we're going to think outside the box as if a box exists, and we're going to do it a different way. So stick with us. We're going to do some unconventional machining on this thing and get it back to the customer as soon as we can. Here we go. This shaft has been welded before, as you can see here, just by these ridges here, a couple spatters there, and it's tapered out to this. So anyway, it's been repaired before. We're going to try and repair it again. We've got the internal part of this. Normally we just stick this on a lathe, machine it down to nice material to do some welding to. It's already cut down deep enough that I can definitely build it up, and the material will hold. Up here, not a big deal. We don't mind if we go a little over. The one thing with this job is it's testing my limits of capabilities of my machines, and we're going to get to that in a second. Really, I can't go any further than where this is cut. Maybe an eighth past, maybe. So it's going to be very tight on my amount of reach. If not, I'm going to have to retool and build some new tooling. And that's going to take longer, and we're hopefully going to try and do this as quick as we can, but at the same time as doing it as quick as we can, we need to keep the quality there of some part. Now, when these welds were turned down, they ran into the same problem I'm going to run into. Setup that I'm going to end up using isn't going to be as rigid as I had hoped for, so with less rigidity comes more chatter. We got this cleaned up, so we're going to use the TIG welder, get this welded up. Yeah, I'll show you what I got planned for machining this. Alright, we got a few tungstens sharpened up, some TIG rods ready to rock and roll. I'm going to take it so that I don't get spattered around that bottom section I was talking about earlier. I don't want to get into it any further than that. So I've taken the ground cord and wrapped it the opposite way of which I'm going to turn this. That way I got a lot more time before I get to the end of the ground cord. It'll unwrap all the way this way and then continue wrapping back around, which is fine. I'm running at 140 amps on the S welder. Alright, let's get this built up. Okay, so we got it all set up on the engine crane here. I borrowed this from a buddy of mine, thank you Jason, and it's actually really handy for this particular job because it comes with a spreader bar. It's a neat design actually. If you look at it, you got 5 holes, so if the weight of this needs to be shifted, which it very well may, I can move it. The other cool thing is I can grab it front and back without having to worry about it interfering with chafing or anything with straps, and it pretty much already came pre-set up. I just had to use these, those things to patch it there and on that side as well. So we've just looped it around the ends, and then our big major plan is to take this and put it on this, and we'll see how that goes, and then we'll carry on and tell me what you think of this whole setup. It may not even work, I don't know, but I'm definitely willing to give it a go, and I think it might, just might, be enough to make this work. It's going to be interesting anyway. Definitely worth the video. Alright, so for this whole conglomeration in my head to work, I have to tilt this head 90 degrees sideways, so that's what we're going to get into right now. So our Excello is sitting at 90 degrees. We're going to dial it in once we get our part up there and whatnot. Actually, we can dial it in now, really. Probably dial it in, get it close, and then get our part on. Yeah, that's the best thing. Not bad, 10 thou. So we're going to adjust this a little bit because it's 10 thou negative, so you're going to have to bring that down a little more on this end. That's pretty much got that. We'll tighten it down and then we'll put the piece up on and see where we're at. Ladies and gentlemen, it's early morning, but it's dialed in, and clamped down. May not be conventional, so I'll show you what I did. There was nowhere on the back of this to actually clamp to, so we ended up using the T-slots for your stops for your X-axis here. And we drilled the plate, put 2 holes in it, tack welded it here. So we were able to get a clamp on it back here on this rib piece that comes out, but it would have kicked out this way, so we ended up putting another clamp right in there just to keep it from kicking, and that held it pretty good there. Got our piece here, and then on the back side, yeah, that's your coolant drain hose. So we have a piece of round stock off of another job. I use this on Honda heads actually to plane them. And then I ended up welding a piece up here to the drum. See, all this is non-crucial. We can grind that off and not even worry about it. And then we ran a piece of threaded rod down through. We're going to tighten that up a little bit. I'm within half a thou all the way around. So we're going to leave it the way it is, because technically the table's not going to do the moving. So we're going to use the quill, a boring head, and a long boring bar to try and do this operation. Again, it may not work, I don't know, but it should get us fairly close compared to what was there before. If that's the case, man, we're in business. I'm pretty happy with that. I'll come back at it with a fresh mind in the morning, and we'll hopefully start machining right away. Okay, I spent a lot of time on this, dialing it up, but I didn't think it was worth videoing. But we're dialed straight across the mill within the circumference of the boring head. So now we're just going to get our boring bar put in there, and hopefully everything will go relatively smooth. I'm still expecting some chatter on this setup, but I think it'll do the trick. Alright, so we're all set up here. We're really close to it. Hopefully everything will work out. We might have to buff some of it out with a flat wheel afterwards, but we'll definitely be able to get the length of this weld. So next time you see this, it'll be spinning. Okay, so we got our boring head set up. This is a carbide boring bar, stuck out to it's pretty much its max, if not a little over its max. But the carbide will help with the lack of rigidity in the whole thing. I already know that's what's going to end up at. We're going to get a bit of vibration and we're going to get a bit of chatter. But as you can tell, they had chatter even on this last setup as well. But we can buff that out, so I'm not too worried about that. See where we end up after our first pass. Here we go. So the thing is with this, every little bit counts, and I have one little spot right there. I've already rubbed it once, but I don't want to rub it again. So I'm going to take the flapper wheel, and then we're going to clean this off and make sure that I can get another, what, 30 thou out of it so that I can clear the back of the weld. Let's do that. So hopefully that's all we need to get rid of that and get our 30 thou to get us to the other side of that weld. Like I said, this is very tight. It's testing the limits of everything on this machine and pretty much my setup capabilities. I'm feeling pretty confident now as it cuts through the weld and gets down to a smoother weld instead of the ripples. Things are starting to sound a little better, so I'm actually gaining confidence as this goes. I was pretty sure it was going to work, or else I wouldn't have set it up, but even still, I'm impressed. So let's keep going. So right at the end here where I had marked it and then moved along, we were out about 5 thou on the end due to the spring in the boring bar. So I'm just doing another spring cut. I haven't changed anything. Basically it's just taking the spring out of what we got going on here. So I'm going to reverse the feed on this and come back. I'm not going to touch anything on my adjustments. We're just taking the spring out of the actual boring bar. Because from here out, we're great. We're dead on, like 0-0. From here on, we had a taper of about 5 thou. So we just want to get rid of that 5 thou to let the bearing slide on there. I'm going to check it now, see if we're close. And then I'll probably just feed it back and try and blend it back in. If not, it's blended in quite nice as it is now. So I'm 0-0 there. Dropping down a bit there. And that one cut pretty much did her. I'm going to just touch from here to here very slightly, and then after that, cut. Alright, there we are. Now I knew I was going to get a little bit of chatter, but as long as my sizes are on, and I'm pretty clean with that shaft, I'm really happy with how that turned out. We're a little high on that end in spots, but I really don't think that. I guess we're right there. Right in that area there. So we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to move her not adjusting nothing, just literally moving my cutter where I want it to be, roughly about there. And then we'll start this up, let it feed back past there, and we're good to go again. We're going to let that ride and finish out that cut. Man, that actually turned out a lot better than it probably looks, really. Right on. So we were really close, but once I did a test fit, it was just off a little bit. So we're going to take another skim, which really seems to be helping us to finish, and it'll probably accommodate for the size. It's pretty close. I think that after this pass, we have it. That even seemed to blend a lot better. I think we're going to be a lot happier with that. Super happy with that. Yeah, that's gonna fit just nice. Look at that. That's great. That's awesome. It worked. I'm impressed. So now we're just gonna get it down off of here. Cut those welded tabs off, clean up those with a buffing wheel. Okay, so we got this done. We got the welds ground off where we had tacked some pieces on there to hold some things down. Yeah, everything's all cleaned up. We're just waiting for the customer to show up and we'll load it on his truck and get him on his way. So that job worked out really well. Everything seemed to come together really well. Everything was very tight on how much reach I had with the tooling to how everything was going to bolt up or how the job was even going to get done. So I'm really happy with how everything worked out. So, till next time, hope you enjoyed that one. See you later, Buzzy.